Hello, welcome to Retrotainment. Back here with my co-host, capital C, capital O, Greg. How are you doing, buddy?
What's happening, homie?
Nothing much, nothing much. We're joined by two guests here from the Action Movie Book Club. We've got Josh and JP. If you can't guess what their favorite genre is, it's action. You know, my
romantic
background
comedies.
shows it.
That's our bread and butter.
And we're continuing with our top 10 lists. So the two boys have compiled a top 10. They have not discussed it with each other.
Or us.
Yeah, well, we don't know anything. Presumably, you know, some of the ones that are in my background are going to be in it. I mean, who's composing a top 10 list and not having at least one Arnie film in it? If anyone has that, their top 10's wrong. And like, I don't care about opinion or anything like that. You're factually wrong if Arnie is not in your top 10. Same for Stallone.
4 of my 10.
Yeah,
same.
If certain people aren't in your top 10, you are wrong. I will accept certain things, you know, like, oh, well, I prefer that one over this one. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But certain actors have to be in a top 10 of the 80s.
Absolutely.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. So you boys obviously do your own podcast. It's focused on that and Instagram page, which will all be linked down below in the description. We'll make sure of that. You haven't discussed your list, so on a prediction, how similar do you think these are going to go?
My guess is 7.
7.
I think it's gonna be at least half. I'm gonna go error on the shorter side. I'm gonna say at least 5, but this was really hard because we both love these kind of movies, but yeah, it's the same thing. Like you were saying earlier, I feel like I might be missing something, and I just don't want to be judged. I don't want to.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna miss something completely obvious and just have my credibility thrown out the window.
Well,
that's long gone.
Yeah. But
what am I talking about? Like I ever had it.
You'll be judged from right behind you there by your little pooch if you get anything wrong.
She gives me
she'll let us know.
She'll pop up and be like,
Wait, what do you mean that's not on the list, huh?
You didn't make the list.
No Turner and Hooch? What the hell?
What do you mean no Turner and Hooch? I don't know.
Crazy.
Hooch is crazy.
Yeah.
Good old Scrubs.
Scrubs? Yeah. Oh yeah. We love John C. McGinley, so.
Yeah, well, I think you guys have a very similar taste to actors and stuff like that to us because we're big into that. Like Greg's obviously mainly horror. I probably err more on the side of comedies. I don't know anybody who doesn't love an old 80s action or just action in general. You know, you can sit down.
It's so much fun, and
that's why we wanted to do our show because it's just, what's not fun about that? It's ridiculous. It's over the top. One-liners, ridiculous violence, action, fun.
Yeah, but I mean, even some of the new ones. Yeah, and some of the newer ones, like you look at what was it called, like Rampage, the recent Rampage with The Rock.
Yeah,
I mean, not the world's greatest film or anything, but I mean, you can sit down. You don't need to focus on the plot line too much. Some guy gets beaten up. He beats up some other stuff. There's a big fight.
Exactly. They're turn your brain off movies. Like, I don't have to think too much. I'm not going to feel anything. No emotions.
Exactly.
Just going to enjoy myself for a bit.
Yes, some will go off and they're like classics, but a lot of action films don't need to be classics because you just need to shut your brain off and just enjoy to borrow a line from I don't know if you guys are into wrestling, but to borrow a line from Big E, 2 big beefy men like slapping meat. That's all it is. Just big beefy men slapping meat. That's it.
Yeah. Just oiled up muscles and
I feel like too, another reason why we get along so well with different like horror podcasts and horror communities, because there's a really fine line between a really schlocky, fun horror movie and a really kind of dumb, fun action movie. They're so close. They're super violent. There's usually nudity involved, and the acting is sometimes questionable. But they're so fun. Mostly questionable, but they're so fun.
Yeah,
they're so fun.
They're
more crossover than I would have thought.
Yeah, it is. It's a great like shut your brain off. Just enjoy this for 2 hours, whatever amount. Now, obviously, some of them are a bit more in depth than that. Like, I'm not shitting on the genre saying there's nothing special about it, but a lot of them you can just shut your brain off, just enjoy that, and
exactly.
That's what I want. I think enough.
Yeah.
Finished work. I'm tired. I don't want to concentrate. Just slap on some action film, and I'm sorted.
Exactly.
I don't know which one you just want to go first with your number 10.
I can start.
Yeah, okay, Josh. Let's hear what you got in at number 10.
So the end of my list was the hardest part. The last three. I ended up going with my number 10 being Tango and Cash from 1989.
Stallone and Russell.
Justin
Stallone and Kurt Russell. They are so much fun together.
Yeah,
like it's
I'm
just silly.
This didn't make they didn't make more from this.
Right. Yeah, if this was made these days, there would have been 7 of them.
See, that's a movie.
They got 9 Fast and the Furious. They definitely get more than that from this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they would have milked this till it was dry.
Yeah.
See, Tango and Cash is an example of a movie that could be remade today. Yeah. I feel like you could remake Tango and Cash because it's good, but it wasn't like super great. It has a nice concept, but you could remake that movie today, I think.
What I love about it is just they seem to be having fun together.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're having fun, I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that story there is just 2 cops working together. You can make any story from it.
Yeah. It's generic. It's nothing special. It didn't break any molds, but it's just fun.
Yeah. It's a great one.
Stars of the 80s as well.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
Absolutely.
That one just makes the cut because obviously it's 89 as well. So
I know.
just sneaks in as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a list of movies that missed the cut.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
We'll do them before them before number 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, JP, what have you got in at number 10?
This is really tough now because now I'm thinking, actually, I love that movie. It did make it on my list because when me personally, I have really gone over in my head like my personal favorite movies, my favorite whatever, and I kind of judge it on quotability and like how well I can quote the movie, how much I like watching the movie. But I love my personal number 10, and this is really tough. It's probably going to change tomorrow. Is Roadhouse. I love Roadhouse.
Swayze.
That was our first episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was our first episode. And
Pain don't hurt.
Pain don't hurt.
Before we get into that, how did you feel when the rumors came out that Ronda Rousey was taking over?
I mean, you know,
I didn't even know that.
She was billed. I don't know whether it went into pre-production or anything, but she was billed to be the main character in it.
I think I'd be okay
can see
with
that. She could kick ass. She could kick ass. And you know, she's been in she hasn't done a ton of acting. I know she was like a kind of a small baddie in one of the Fast and the Furious movies. But I was okay with it because I'm always up for, you know, a challenge. I'm up for something different. But then, you know, she started losing a lot and her star power kind of hit the bricks and
mauled a couple of times.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Well, I think the bigger problem for her was that she got beaten, but she didn't really take it well. You know,
she did not lose gracefully.
Yeah, like other people have lost and they've just come back. Like GSP is one of my favorite fighters. And when he'd lose, he'd come out and he'd be like, "This guy was just better than me." He'd go off training. That guy's, you know, if that guy was a jiu-jitsu guy, he'd spend 6 months training jiu-jitsu, and then he'd fight him again, and he, you know, every time he'd end up winning. But you know, he'd always be like, "No, the better fighter won on the day." Where she just came out and she was like, "This is bullshit." She kind of threw her toys out of the pram. Then she got another fight, got beaten again, and she was just like, "I'm done. I'm done."
I like throwing a tantrum.
I do, but like,
I respect that.
I do as well. Like, I love Chael Sonnen. Like, that guy used to lose all the time. He'd lose all the time, but he'd always shit talk people, and I loved that. And then obviously,
it was like wrestling.
Yeah. Then McGregor obviously came in, and he did what Chael Sonnen should have been doing. Like, if Chael Sonnen was winning when he was doing all that shit talking, he'd have been a huge star, bigger than he is now. But McGregor came in, did the shit talking, and was winning, whereas Chael Sonnen did all the shit talking, and then he'd lose like 90% of the time. I still love Chael Sonnen, but you know, at least he could take the loss. Rousey didn't take her loss, and I think that's what killed her star. Everyone was just like, she's got an attitude problem, not interested.
Yeah, it's just Well, then with McGregor with that last thing,
like,
your wife's in my DMs, and you're just like, what?
Technically, he wasn't lying. There was an unopened message from his wife in his DMs.
No shit.
There's a
Yeah,
video.
but
He
there's
screen
a-
recorded his video going into his Instagram and showed it.
Yeah, but he didn't show what it said, so obviously, you know,
I'd say it's just saying "fuck you" or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would say it's a message saying
probably.
"fuck you," but that doesn't fit his narrative. He went
Yeah.
off the rails.
I respect that.
Which I was a big fan of his Irish, you know.
Me too.
representing the
Oh
Irish,
yeah, he was
and then
great.
Things went wrong, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm a bit over you. You know, I'd rather just not be associated with like you being associated with my country anymore too much. But it is
The
what
money
it
got
is.
to his the money and fame got to his head.
This
Yeah.
conversation quickly went off Roadhouse.
It did go off Roadhouse. Well, that's because
But
you
no,
brought in
okay.
Ronda Rousey.
I just
So-
thought, how did he feel when it was?
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
he-
no, but Roadhouse it is quality. It
But
deserves
I
that
love
top 10 spot.
Roadhouse. It's got a great bad guy with Ben
Mhm.
Gazzara, who's like this great actor from the 70s and 80s, and you know Swayze at the height of his fame, fantastic mullet. But I think one of my favorite things for the entire movie is that outfit he wears, where it's like a karate gi top tucked into really tight jeans.
Why did he have that? Why was
I
that
don't
his
know, but it's
attire?
amazing. It's great.
I
love
just
it.
love that
All
in this
movies
world,
like it.
bouncers are like famous. They're
Yeah.
like movie stars. Like everyone knows who he is. Like they know all about him. Like they know he did this, that, and whatever down in the South in these places. It's just known.
Yeah, it's madness.
Small World. Yeah, I think this is one of the only movies I actually like Patrick Swayze in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not a big
it's kinda
Swayze guy either.
fun to get into.
I like some Swayze.
I like some Swayze too. Donnie Darko, you know.
I do like
Oh,
Donnie
Donnie
Darko. I
was
think
good.
overall I'm not a
But,
huge
yeah.
Swayze guy, but yeah,
Mm.
Roadhouse and Donnie Darko are definitely two
Yeah,
two
I
big ones.
completely forgot he was in that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, two very deserving ones to be in the top 10, and I think
Mhm.
that is like the kind of lower end of the top 10 is where they deserve to go because there's some serious monsters still to come up. So
Yeah.
we'll move on to
The top 5 was easy for me.
we'll move on to number 9, staying with the difficult ones.
Number 9. I'm sticking with Sly. Marion Cobretti in Cobra from 1986.
Oh my god! No.
I love Cobra so much.
Oh,
You might as well have picked Copland.
No, No, that's
I do
actually a
love
good
Copland.
movie.
that is actually a
Well,
very
that's
good
actually-
movie.
That's the 90s, isn't it?
this is
That was-
Yeah.
terrible, and I love it.
Yeah, Cobra with his leather jacket and his gloves.
Oh, it's so good.
Our scene read that we did where he's just like, I'll fucking blow this whole place up. Go ahead. I don't shop here.
My favorite. No one gave a fuck on that movie, and it's personified in one scene where he's like harassing these guys around his car, and he like rips the guy's shirt, and you can see the mic like taped to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And just we're like, whatever.
Will we redo that? No, I'm not
You
buying
don't
him a new
care.
shirt. Fuck it, just keep going.
It's just right there.
We're losing our daylight. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you look at even in Casino, you know, the scene where they blow up the car with what's supposed to be De Niro in it at the start, and you see it. So you see De Niro getting in, you see him sitting there. Next thing you know, it'll turn to a doll and it's just holding the steering wheel.
Yeah. See, I love that. That's why I love the end of the first Nightmare on Elm Street, like when they pull
Oh,
the
doll.
mom through. It's horrible. But I
Yeah.
love it.
Mhm.
No, I do like to see what's something that's considered, you know, not a good action film because it's not one of the bigger ones. I like when people have stuff like that on a list because, you know, sometimes they're just so enjoyable because they're just that bad. You're just like, this
Yeah.
is so good to watch.
And it kind of knows what it is. And
Yeah, it makes fun
that's
of
a
itself.
running theme. I like when a movie's trying to be like something it's not. That's why I give Roland Emmerich shit or Michael Bay, because they think they're like Spielberg or some talented director. And it's like no, you make
highfalutin.
schlock, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
embrace it and know what you are, and then I'd like
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
No, it's a solid number 9. And again, like it's one that's, you know, if someone was telling me this was in their top 5, I'd be like, okay, now hang on now. You can't put it that
Hold
high.
up a minute.
You know, you can't put it that high. But like, if you want to
Yeah.
have it in your top 10, that's fine.
Because there's some masterpieces.
Yeah, you can't go put it up there now.
Mm.
That's settled down. But a top 10, I'm perfectly happy to have something like that.
Yeah.
So far, no crossovers though.
Interesting. I'm very surprised.
I
but I
have
feel
one
like
already.
Yeah, the top half, I think there'll be more. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
already have one.
Oh,
with
okay.
him.
Well, what have you got, JP, in at number 9 then?
So this is really tough because I feel like it should go higher on the list, but it's just a movie that I love. And speaking of Kurt Russell, it's Escape from New York. I love John Carpenter.
He's in here
the
behind
theme-
me. There he is.
What's that?
There he is in
Oh,
behind
yeah.
me. Escape from New York, Snake Plissken.
Call me Snake.
That's so good.
Oh, and it's just John Carpenter, and Donald Pleasance is the president, and
as well.
Isaac Hayes is the bad guy. It's just so much fun and just gritty, and the music is great, and it's kind of like that 80s, with the synth, and I like the dark tone of the movie, and just Kurt Russell is great, and he said he was really channeling Clint Eastwood in that role, and it really
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
makes so much sense. Yeah, I just love it. Yeah.
I love the concept of the film as well, though. They're just like, what's a good concept for an action film? I know. Let's take an entire state in the United States, which is huge, and let's just turn it into one big prison.
Just make Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, a prison.
Like that's now a prison, but not one that's regulated. So we'll just throw them in, and then every 6 weeks we'll drop a load of food in, and they can fight over it. And
just Arkham City.
Yeah, like just fuck it. Let them do it. Let them do whatever the hell they want. They're a law unto themselves. Someone in there will become, the sheriff or something, and keep, will become like the highest
order.
rank. Yeah, he'll keep some order. But outside of that, like he's still a criminal, so fuck him anyway. If he gets killed, it's grand. Like that's their concept. And they're just
the only reason that didn't make my list, and this probably isn't fair, but Escape from LA is just one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it did not follow up well.
God.
This is one where if they didn't have a sequel, I think it would rank higher.
Yeah, I think it would have cracked it.
Yeah, I think
that's really not fair, but
no, but
that's what it is.
I'm a big fan to see that there. We covered that on the show before, and I hadn't seen it in a couple of years, and I was like, man, this is such a good film to go back and rewatch. And Kurt Russell is kind of in a way, he's kind of like the forgotten 80s action star, because you've got your Stallones, you've got
Schwarzenegger,
like
little Van Damme here and there.
Yeah, you've got all these big names, and then he just kind of gets a little bit forgotten about. But then when you see him, you're like, man, how do we forget this guy? He's so good.
John Carpenter hit off on absolute bangers in the 80s.
Yeah,
I have two movies that have the greatest action star of all time.
What
we'll get to the most underrated. No one talks about him.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know.
Kurt Russell and John Carpenter in the 80s are what Leo and Scorsese were in the 2000s.
Yeah, it's his muse.
Yeah. Absolute money.
But that was the thing. He found somebody who wasn't a huge name,
and made him a name.
And then he was like, "I'll make you a star, and I'll keep making you a star."
Because Kurt Russell was a big Disney star when he was young, and he did a lot of Disney movies when he was a kid and like in his late teens and early 20s. But then he became like an action star, but he became this really great dramatic actor too. And maybe that's why he doesn't get a lot of credit where he's deserved, because like the general populace maybe thinks of him, as more of a
like a dramatic,
serious
actor. But like it just shows his range. He's so good. Like I'm a huge fan of Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
he's so funny. He's got the chops. He's great.
He does.
He's in one of my favorite movies in Big Trouble in Little China.
I love that movie. That didn't make my list. That was this close.
Motherfuckers.
I know. I love that movie though. I have the tank top. I have the Jack Burton tank top.
No, I love it as well. And I love the fact that they left themselves open for a sequel if they wanted to do it. And then just kind of realized they were like, I think we've hit gold here. Let's just
good.
Let's just stop.
We didn't need it.
Never happens anymore.
Yeah, like we're just not going to do it. Now, Greg, it's one of Greg's all-time favorites, and he's told me a couple of times before that apparently it's The Rock's favorite film, and he wants to remake it.
And he wants to be Jack.
Yeah,
I think he's too big to be Jack. The problem is that Jack Burton is, it's not that he's a small guy, but he's not huge either. He's just
a truck driver.
Yeah, he's the right size, like,
and it'd be fine, but it doesn't need to happen.
No.
Yeah.
I think when you're that famous though, and it's your favorite film, you're kind of like, I could maybe make a bigger name for this film than it's got, and then people will go back and watch the original, and something I love will get more attention.
the whole
can see
I
it,
love this
but-
movie, so I want to be a part of it. I kind of respect that.
Yeah,
Done it with Jumanji as well.
he did do it with Jumanji, and I thought that was a good shout as well. Like,
That
I
was
actually think
fun.
they did well. They did well with that. Now, to be honest,
That was a lot of fun.
yeah, I like that they had the references back, but didn't go. Let's try and remake it. There, like, let's just continue on. That happened. Let's move on from it. No, it's a serious one. Escape from New York is a really big one up there, and like obviously, Snake.
Snake Plissken's an all-time name.
Yeah,
It's a
and
big
like they
icon.
obviously
It's the best.
like Metal Gear Solid is basically based on the fact that Snake
it's all
Plissken was
Snake.
a character. Yeah, like, let's just Snake is a cool name. Let's use that.
Give it an eye patch.
Yeah, the eye patch and everything. Yeah, it's
A lot
clearly
of fun.
based off him. Like,
Works.
yeah, but no, still no crossover. So your 7 is looking like a risky one here. Just now, obviously, once we get to the top, I think there will be a lot of crossover.
Here's
but-
the first crossover.
for sure.
Oh, here's the first one. Okay,
Number 7 is Roadhouse from 1989.
okay, yeah, that's fair.
No point in going back into that one.
Yeah, we can't go. Unfortunately, we've covered Roadhouse, so
Yeah.
we'll have to
We've
move swiftly
said
on.
enough.
Yeah.
We have like 2 hours of talking about it too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so have we got another crossover in your number 7, JP?
Let's see. So this is kind of a hot take because in my research, it's part of a trilogy, but every list has the first movie in this trilogy. But my favorite growing up was always the third one, and that's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
I'd be on that as well.
That was my favorite too.
I think I'm in that one. I like, as much as everyone loves Raiders, I think 3 is probably overall the better of them.
That was definitely my favorite as a kid.
And him and Sean Connery together, they have great banter. They have great chemistry.
Yeah.
They're
I think-
and the whole they're searching for the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
They're searching for immortality. And I love it. I think it's so great.
Yeah, I think I flip-flop on them because obviously the first one, you have nothing to build on. So like you're starting the franchise, so that's always that little bit harder. So I always kind of give the first of a series that little bit of a boost. And like then by the third one, you've got like your characters, you've fleshed them out. People have already invested in them, so you've got a little bit of leeway there already. But yeah, it's a tough one. I think I'd flip flop. I think it's general consensus that the second one is the bottom of the three.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
matter
it's
what.
tough to start a franchise,
Yeah.
but think about any trilogy, and when could you argue the third one is arguably the best? Usually that's
Godfather.
when it's like gone off the rails and it's just
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Godfather and like I think Godfather and
don't-
Raiders is probably
Godfather
sorry.
is definitely not. Godfather 3 is
Godfather.
poison.
Godfather. No, but like Godfather is the one where
Well, Rambo 3 is my favorite.
you can
but-
see that it
one
went
in
so
Azerbaijan.
far off the like Godfather 3 went so far off the rails. So like that was the
Yeah.
easy one to be like, no, that's
No.
obviously crap.
Right.
But then you've got this one, like with Indiana Jones, and you're like, oh, it could be
Yeah,
the
that's what I
best
mean.
of them.
Like Star Wars with Jedi, that's easily the third best one out of the trilogy. I mean,
my
Matrix, the
favorite
third
one of
one
the
is the worst. I mean,
Yeah,
most
well,
of the time it's not even in that conversation.
the problem is that you've usually used up your ideas by then.
Well, that's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
why it's almost more impressive that it's even talked about that way.
Yeah,
Unless it's like a through line, like you have like Lord of the Rings, where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
third one, Return of the King. That's the third one, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
would say
14-hour
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
Yeah,
jeez.
7 endings.
I would still say that the second of the Lord of the Rings
Yeah, that's
two
my
is
favorite.
the
hours.
best. I think the
Oh.
only thing that they made a mistake with is like that Helm's Deep is actually so good. And
Mhm.
like
It's
obviously
so good.
this isn't like director's problems because this is it's a story that's been written for years. So like
Mhm.
this is just the way that it was written. So there was nothing they could do. But like obviously
That-
Helm's Deep is just the coolest battle in the world.
That's one of the best
Fuck yeah.
battle scenes.
That might actually
Yeah.
be.
I
Yeah,
I
it's up
struggle to think of one that's better.
Um,
Hey,
So good.
Maybe the open one in Saving Private Ryan.
That
Yeah. Oh,
I-
fun story about that. I watched that movie in the theaters with my grandfather, who was in World War II. And
Oh.
like 10 minutes in, he's like, I gotta get out of here.
oh, it fucked him so much.
He's like, I can't.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd say that's
It's like the
tough,
best
alright.
compliment you can give to realism.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
they did. They went very real on
Yeah, he was
Saving
just like,
Private Ryan. No, this isn't for me. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm pretty sure that was made on a beach 10 minutes away from where we live.
yeah.
Really?
Oh no shit.
Well,
Yeah.
not the whole thing, but I think certain
No,
bits
yeah,
were.
But like
yeah.
some of like the beach battles and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of
Wow.
battles, I think Game of Thrones had some really solid battles.
Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah, like that's the main
That
one.
was a
Battle of the
smashing-
Bastards is the like. the
I
main
love
one.
the Blackwater.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
they had some seriously good ones. Obviously, season 8. Less said about season 8, the better. Unfortunately,
Have you gone back and rewatched that? Because I have. Didn't hate it as much. I was like, okay.
I didn't hate it
Alright.
as much as everyone else did when I watched season 8, but I did realize that as like he's given no input and they don't know where to go. So
I mean, it's not their fault. They signed on to adapt a story, and then all of a sudden they had to make up
that
their
lazy.
own. It's like
that lazy prick didn't bother. It's been like 10 years since he wrote the last book. Like, what a lazy bastard! Like,
what's he doing?
He's made his
he doesn't know how to end it.
No, it's because he
money gone
he made all his money, and now he's realized, and he's definitely realized now, whatever way I end this, people aren't going to be happy, so I'll just never end it. And then people will always say,
he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, people
he's
will
created
always
this
say,
great world, but it's the martyrs thing. They had this idea, and then it's like, oh, how do we end this?
The problem is that now he'll always be able to go, oh well, I had a really good ending planned, but like I haven't written it yet, and then he'll die, and it'll be like, oh well, he had a really good ending, but he never got to write it. But the truth is, he doesn't know how to end it now. Yeah. So he's given up on it. Like
if I was him, that's what I'd do too.
I'm not saying he's wrong, but like that is what's happening here. Like, of
course.
It's because you think about all the TV shows and their endings, like how many of them are great and how many of them are disappointing.
Yeah. I think the problem with that one is that it was so kind of poor that people don't talk about, like Game of Thrones for a long time was talked about as the greatest TV series. And that it fell off because of that last one, which was a shame.
It really did.
But like
battle
scenes, that's got one of the best. So like, but I still prefer Helm's Deep. I think that's just a bit of nostalgia on my part, though.
Of
maybe.
Course.
That I think that's arguably the best.
Yeah, I think depending on your generation, if you grew up on Lord of the Rings, I think it's going to be in there.
I used to watch that in college, like before we went out. We just watched the battle scene.
I think I rewatch the extended version of those 3 films every year around Christmas.
I need to watch them again.
I knocked them out. They're like, it's like 12, 13 hours of like just watching. You're sitting there watching battle after battle. But they're so good. Like, I just in love with them.
Peter Jackson. Well, did you hear what Peter Jackson is doing? I listened to, he was on Mark Maron's podcast, the WTF, and he did the Beatles thing, for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And he said, based on that, he's going to go back and reformat his early movies. He's going to reformat them and update them to like high definition. So like,
bring Brain Dead back.
He's going to do Brain Dead. He's going to reformat Brain Dead, which I love. I love that.
Yeah, nice. Well, we went a little bit off topic there.
Tangent. That's what we call it on our show.
A bit of a tangent, but I do think. I think Raiders Indiana Jones deserves to be there, whether it's number 1 or number 3. It does deserve to be there anyway. So still only the one crossover.
So what are we at? 6?
6 now, yeah.
So my number 6.
Yeah, you need to cross all of yours. Need to be crossovers.
I feel pretty confident about all but one.
Okay.
Wait, are we at 6 or 7?
You just did your 7th there.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
His 7th was his 7th was a crossover.
Yeah, that's right.
So my number 6 is the Terminator from 1984.
Very low.
And that's Michael Biehn, who is the greatest action star of all time.
I mean, the man's a genius.
Quietly, he's in some of the biggest movies ever, and no one talks about
it. Yeah.
He was in, like, even off
Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss, Tombstone. I mean,
Tombstone. That scene.
He's incredible. The Rock.
I'm surprised.
I love how you give that order.
I love how you just
so good.
He was in Tombstone, and you just go, that scene.
He's so good.
Like,
everyone knows what scene you're talking about. Everyone knows.
Quietly, the greatest action star of all time.
Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, he's kind of the background action star.
Yeah, he's just always kind of there.
Yeah, he is brilliant. I'm
Love
surprised to see
Michael Biehn.
Terminator so low, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I got some bangers coming up.
Yeah,
I know. See, I have such an affinity for Terminator 2 that
Right.
yeah,
And that did kind of play into it.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. I think I would accept anyone's opinion on that. Like, if someone told me they think Terminator 1 is better, or they think Terminator 2 is better, I don't think I can't really fault them on either, because they're both so good.
I can.
Yeah.
Terminator 3 is by far the best of a lot of them.
Have you seen the deleted scene with
That
Arnold
nobody
as
ever-
like Colonel Candy or something?
No.
He's got this weird like Southern accent.
It's great.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm Colonel Candy.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, no, I knew Terminator would be in here, but I'm surprised it's it's number 6 now. I'm assuming Terminator 2 is still going to be in here, but that'll be a bit higher.
Well, Terminator 2 is in the 90s.
92.
Oh, it is 92.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. I do forget that there was a gap between a fair gap between these. It wasn't like this one was a big hit. Let's get another one out. I forget. I do always forget.
I think I'd say it would have been closer, but Arnie was busy doing every movie ever.
Yeah, he was. They were like, we need an action star. Arnie is. What do you mean Arnie's busy?
Yeah.
Fine, get Stallone. What do you mean
3
Stallone's
of my
busy?
next movies.
Yeah, it's literally like it went. If like a lot of our IMDb trivia, like you look at it and it's like, okay, cool. Stallone couldn't do it. Let's ask Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger can't do it. Oh, let's ask Van Damme. Van Damme can't do it. Let's ask Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis can't do it. You know, it's just like they had that list.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'll accept it in them. 6 isn't a bad spot either. I mean, when we're talking all of the 80s actions, but I am surprised to see it that low.
Yeah.
I don't think
I have some love for the next ones that come up.
Okay, that's
Unabashed.
fair. That's fair. That's fair. So, JP, what have you got in at number 6?
So I have. So I did Roadhouse. I did Escape from New York. I did Last Crusade. And now I have Commando, because and it's funny because I had never really seen Commando as a kid. I didn't see Commando until I was an adult, and so that shit blew my mind because I could grasp the kind of silliness of it, but also just like Josh said, the pure just action movie tropes and the lines, and he's also just jacked, and he comes out carrying a fucking tree trunk on his shoulder. It's just amazing.
Unbelievable.
Shout out there to Niall, who
one of the boys said this to us. We said we're doing a top 10 80s action, and he was like, if Arnie carrying that tree trunk isn't in it, you may as well delete the episode. So I'm glad that you boys brought in the big,
of course.
I think is it Commando, or am I thinking of one of his other ones where it starts with him like on a beach? No, that's something else. I can't remember.
Commando starts in the woods.
He's with his daughter, and they're having that sitcom opening credits type of shit.
They're like feeding a deer. It's nonsense. I love it.
Yeah, this one is pure 80s like shithouse action.
Commando isn't my favorite action movie, but I believe it is the perfect action movie.
It's the perfect 80s.
It's the perfect 80s action movie.
Because in the 80s they were all about hit your one-liners, just a shitload of action, stuff that could never happen in real life. Like obviously the pipe scene where he fucks his pipe at this guy, skewers him without actually holding the pipe, and then then
he throws it like a javelin.
It's not connected to anything. How can there be steam coming out of the pipe? It's no longer
behind him.
It hits the pipe behind him.
I know, but it's so bullshit. Like you're just like, there's no way that happened.
Well, before that, he fights an entire army by himself.
I mean, look at the size of the guy. He
and
probably
at one time he's throwing saw blades at people's heads, like cutting them off. It's unbelievable.
But the rocket launcher as well.
I was obsessed with that 4-barrel.
Just this like little it just causes this little area of damage. You know, it's a very confined area of damage, and you're like, no, that would blow the shit out of it. Like, what are you talking about?
I love that they kept the count. There was only 4 rockets in it, because the lady shoots one backwards, and then she shoots the other one forward, and then he only had 2 left. They only still used 2.
Yeah,
that's restraint right there.
I love how he just like
wasn't firing like 8 or 9 off.
Yeah.
Remember when his daughter gets kidnapped and he goes in, he runs up the roof because he can jump onto the roof from the side of the hill, and he goes in. Your man's sitting there and he's like, just shoots him in the head, and he goes down to get his truck. You see him lifting the truck up.
Yeah, because the truck doesn't actually work.
Yeah,
so then he just drives, pushes it down a hill.
Yeah.
It's just the opposite.
It's the ultimate shithousery. Like, and it's what makes Commando so good, because it's everything that the 80s stood for. You know, it has all the tropes, it has all the one-liners.
He has all the one-liners. Like,
and as you say,
he love a movie where this guy's the best. He's got to come out of retirement.
And I mean, he fights off a literal army. No bother. You're like, I won't even break a sweat too much. Like, this isn't sweat on me. This is
one of the best.
This is body oil. I'm just putting body oil on while I'm fighting these guys. Yeah.
Do you reckon the likes of Tom Brady and I'll watch that when they're putting paint on before a game on his Sunday?
Oh, for sure.
He doesn't just limit it to the eye black. He's got it like on his arms and everything.
Yeah.
I love, and like the one-liners, two of my favorites of the movie are, he has the one where he's on the airplane and he elbows the guy and then breaks his neck, puts a hat over him. He goes, "Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired." and then
how does he get off the plane? He just like climbs down to the landing gear and jumps into a swamp.
Yeah.
And then he does when he's fighting Bill Duke from Predator, and Bill Duke's like, "Well, this Green Beret is gonna kick your ass," and he goes, "I eat Green Berets for breakfast."
And we get that scene of like in the next room, inexplicable. They're like filming some sort of like porno snuff film. For no reason.
Yeah. Just throw that in there. Why not?
Yeah, because we gotta have 80s boobs. We have to.
Yeah. Of course.
The one liner where he has the little small fella holding him over the cliff, and he's like, "Remember I told you that?"
He's Sully.
I lied.
Yeah.
Fun fact about that scene. They didn't have any like contraption rigged up. They were just like, "You're just gonna hold him over because you're huge." And he's like, "No, that's not how this works." Like, I'm strong, but that's a human being. I can't just hold him. Like,
I can't just hold him forever. No, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. That actor is great, David Patrick Kelly, like because he's the Warriors guy.
Yeah,
you know where he's got the bottles.
I'm a huge fan of his. He's in The Crow as well, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and John Wick. He's the cleaner in John Wick.
Yeah, he's such a little like. Such a little rat, like, isn't he? He's just looking at me, you're like, "You little fucking rat, man! You're such a little dickhead!" Like,
yeah, he's great at playing that.
Like, I love him in the Warriors. The whole the bottle thing, unscripted. Nobody knew he was doing it. Even the director didn't know. He just bent down and picked. Like, why were those bottles in the car? But he just bent down and picked them up and was like, "I'll do this. It'll be really like." I don't know. Did he think it'd be funny, or did he think it would? He
said one of the bullies when he was a kid would do that.
Yeah. To him. But it worked so, and it's how his voice cracks while he's saying it. Like, it's not just one pitch; it's his voice cracking as he says it. You're just like, "Oh, it's so good."
God, that's a great movie.
I love him as an actor. Again, he's another one of those great stars, but never the front guy. He's always kind of just in the background, but you recognize him. Yeah, you're just like,
poor man's Michael Biehn.
You're like, I know him. Oh, I know him. I know him.
He also killed the caretaker in Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, a little rat.
Yeah. And he plays these rats, but I bet in real life he's like the nicest
guy ever. I bet you.
Kindest guy. Yeah,
it's always the best.
They always are. They always are.
That.
Either that, or he's a complete little rat as well in his real life. I don't want to disparage the man. I don't know. I've never met him, but it's one of the two. He's either really nice and plays a rat all the time, or he's just a little rat and like just like may as well just get him in because he's going to be good at it. It's one of those two.
Life.
Yeah, it's one of those two. It's not it's not like anywhere in the middle.
Yeah, the middle ground.
Yeah. Okay, so we're hitting into the big ones now. The top fives.
Oh yeah.
Still one crossover.
Who are we on?
So
back to you, Josh.
See, wait. I think my list got, I don't know, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still have 6 movies left.
Yeah.
You're about to pick your.
Yeah, I got 6 as well.
Got it. Okay, cool. I was like, oh shit, did I fuck up? Alrighty.
My number 6 is Die Hard from 1988.
Oh dear.
That's a crossover.
Yeah, I knew that wouldn't be a crossover.
Yeah. I mean, I love that movie. It's not my favorite, but it is fairly perfect.
It's in fact the best Christmas movie ever made.
It's a solid Christmas film, all right.
Is incorrect.
See, we call it a romantic comedy.
I mean, you can get away with that.
There's
Just because we hate the Christmas movie debate. It's just
yeah, for me it works because if it wasn't Christmas, he wouldn't be there. So
Right.
Yeah.
you know, take Christmas out of it, the film doesn't happen. So
I mean, one of the greatest villains of all time, Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
I think you're talking bad guys.
guy.
I think
He's the
talking
best
bad guys, he's definitely
He's
you're struggling to find
arguably
someone
the
better.
greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And it created a genre of action movies within itself. You know, movies where, you know, enemies take over a place, and you know, you have Under
Die Hard
Siege
in a hockey arena like Sudden Death, or it's Die Hard in an amusement park, whatever.
Yeah.
I love Sudden Death.
Yeah, no, he's.
I was hoping that was in the 80s. I knew it wasn't, but I still looked it up because
No,
that's so
I
much.
can't reel that back to the 80s. No, not tonight.
No,
When he fights
Die
a
Hard.
Penguins mascot, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, Die Hard though, like it's all the little stuff in Die Hard that, you know, like it's so realistic as well. You know, like Hans Gruber, like when they're up in the thing and he's just like shoot the windows and all the
glass.
all the other
Sure.
idiot, like
And
all the
he
other
taking
idiots.
his shoes off. Like that's
all the
why
other-
those movies worked, and that's
Yeah.
why the newer ones don't.
But what I liked is that like, he's
They were
the
thinking
you know
about it,
he's
yeah.
the smart guy and he's like he's in charge, so he's the one who comes up with it. Like all these brain dead like you know, like nobodies that are just, you know, like you're the henchmen, like you're just the useless henchmen. None of them thought up this genius idea of that guy wasn't wearing any shoes, shoot all the glass out. He was like, you idiots, stop wasting all your bullets trying to shoot him through a wall. Just shoot the glass, and then he has to walk on loads of glass. That'll fuck him up.
I love his accent. He does. Oh God, you're one of them.
Yeah, really.
Don't
really
kill
goes,
me! Don't kill me!
Good.
Really goes for the like overly American accent, like the fake
good.
American accent. Like it's not even, you know, no one speaks like that, but it's like I'll go really American. That'll convince him I'm American rather than.
Alan Rickman was actually 6 years dead there the other day.
Yeah, he was a big loss.
Well, we end every show with Happy Trails, Hans.
Yeah.
I love the bit when he's in the tunnel there, or in the vent there.
The vents.
Coming out to LA.
Yeah.
Have a party.
Have a few laughs. Now I know what a TV dinner feels like.
I love that his, you know, he has two accomplices sort of in it, and one is obviously Al Powell, and then the other one is just his limo driver, who is just sitting down in the limo, having the best time of his life, on the phone to his mates in the back with this big bear. No idea that there's like a big robbery. Yeah, Argyle. He's just like
drinking champagne.
I have no idea what's going on up there. I'm just sitting around, relaxed, having a laugh for like what's got to be a couple of hours.
Oh, easily.
It's perfect because
hours,
they have that first
multiple
scene where they
hours.
like bond and like they're cool with each other and they're kind of buddies.
Yeah, and then
everything is earned in that movie.
Yeah, and then he spends hours just sitting there on the phone to his friend in this limo, and he's just like, "Yeah, this is the best crack." And then he's like, "It's getting a bit late. Where the hell is this guy? Why the hell is there no other cars here? And why the hell is everything locked? And what's that guy over there doing with that fucking truck?" Like,
and he just rams his ass.
Yeah, he's just like, "I'll just
goes
ram
and
him."
punches him.
Yeah, I'll just punch this guy.
When he gets into he's sitting in the front of the limo with him.
Yeah,
Argyle has a bra in the front.
Yeah, I just had a lady friend.
The front.
So good.
No, yeah, the whole thing is, yeah, as a film, it's a classic, and especially you know, he comes out with at the end, "Give me your gun," and he gives him the gun, and then he has the other one strapped to his back. Like,
I love
what
when he
an
comes
idea.
out, he's Hans. He's just so beat up and like limping around.
Yeah.
Just let me die at this stage.
Also,
I love the first scene you see with Hans when he comes up the elevator. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Like how the hell Carl survives to be the last one killed. Like that guy is literally hanging by a chain. They all walked by him and they were like, and everyone in the office like, I know they're going through a bit of trauma here, but they all run down that stairs and it's just this huge guy hanging by a chain, and they're all just like, let's just keep going. Like, nobody stopped to question how he got up there, or like,
fuck him at this point.
Maybe check. No, like, just fucking go. Like, fuck him. So good. Yeah, no, that's one that again thought maybe it might be higher, but there is some big bangers.
Mine's
coming up, I know as well.
I
Yeah.
actually kind of expect
May
that
question
to
my
be
number 5,
2 or number
but
1, and
may
one of
question my 5 being as high as it is, but the rest, I'll
Yeah,
die
well,
on those hills.
Okay, fair enough. So on to you, back to you then, JP.
So this movie, I was like, is it an action movie? But then I decided it is, and it's great. I love it. It's so fun and funny, and it's Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely an action
Judge
movie.
Reinhold.
movie.
Oh, I love it. It's fucking funny, and Eddie Murphy is great.
And the tailpipe.
Yeah. This is one that's leans more into the comedy as well, though. You know, like a lot of the other action films take themselves, not that they take themselves overly serious, but they really focus on like, let's not have too many laughs in here because we want to be an action film. Whereas this one just goes, yeah, we'll have loads of a shit ton of action, but we've got Eddie Murphy. How the hell could we not be funny?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna fall for no banana, no tailpipe.
Yeah.
I love Judge Reinhold in this as well. As been
I love him.
And like the shit in the strip club, he's like, Philip, what's happening, man?
So good.
That's Eddie Murphy at his best, though.
Yeah, it was great.
He's not a great actor. Let's be fair.
When you're talking his genre, though, like that comedy action genre.
48 Hours was good.
Yeah, he's
Chris Rock. Chris Rock is probably the best at doing that.
Yeah,
the two of them. Yeah, they were just.
Sorry, not Chris Rock. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Yeah,
Oh,
Rush Hour.
Yeah,
I love Rush Hour.
I didn't realize, lads, he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood for about 5 years.
I believe it.
Yeah,
he was huge. He was huge.
He's kind of fallen. He fell off as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
He fell off. Like you know, it's kind of like he'd had enough fame and he just kind of disappeared.
He does a lot of stand up now.
Yeah, he was like, I've had my fame, I've had that, I'm done with that level of fame. I'll go back to my comedy roots and I'll be happy there. And fair play to him, but
with all that money in the bank.
Yeah, like I'm already comfortable. I can just do whatever the hell I want now. Like I don't need to do another
Sitting
film.
on a beach earning 8%.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting shitloads, just fucking making money while he sleeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't bend over to pick up anything less than like 100 grand. Oh, I dropped 50 grand. Well, it's not worth my time to bend over and pick it up. I'll just keep going.
Seriously.
Moving on.
But like Beverly Hills Cop, brilliant. The three of them are good. Like I really enjoyed the third one. In the fun park
yeah, it's fun. I think they're just all like really fun, and the guy, I forget the director's name, but he made a lot of really great movies, but then he's still alive. He just kind of stopped. And he made a great movie too that I love called Midnight Run with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin.
Movie. That's a great.
I love Midnight Run. It's it's kind of similar. It's like an action comedy, and De Niro is so funny. He's always playing these really dramatic, fucked up characters, but he's also hilarious.
Yeah.
I think De Niro might actually be the best actor ever.
I think so too.
There's a definite,
he has
there's definitely a shout for it. Like, yeah, there's a discussion there to be had. Like, there is other people that could, you could make the argument, but his name would be up there on that list.
He can do it all.
It's going to be in the top 3 no matter what happens.
Oh,
I think so. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
it's like him, Brando, and like Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is so underrated. It's not even funny.
He's great.
I do love Gary Oldman. I think Leo's probably up there as well.
Yeah,
it's hard not to put him there.
Tiptoes with Gary Oldman.
What?
Tiptoes. Check out Tiptoes with Gary Oldman.
I'll have to give that a watch.
I don't know that.
Gary
that
sounds
Oldman
like
plays a little person. He's just walking around on his knees.
That does sound good.
When you look at Gary Oldman, though, you'd forget that he's in some amount of bangers. Like he plays the best version of Dracula, in my opinion. He got himself
better than Bella.
Really yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's better.
He was Churchill too, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Didn't watch that though. I'm not interested in watching that.
See, I love him in True Romance too.
I got a picture of Churchill
brilliant
there on my wall.
He's
in a pinstripe suit with a Tommy gun.
He's definitely obviously Oldman is up there, but
it's De Niro's range that he's done.
Yeah,
from comedy.
I think Oldman's kind of done that as well a little bit, maybe not to the extent that De Niro has, but yeah,
he's just such a chameleon.
Yeah, like it's similar to Kurt Russell in a way. Like I'm not saying Kurt Russell's as good as them, but like they were able to move between the genres and be like, yeah, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. And you're just like, man, what a dickhead. Like, was it not enough for you to be better than me at like better than everyone at one style of acting? No, you just had to be better than everyone at every style, did you?
Yeah.
Like you
We
couldn't
talk
just give
about that
anybody
all the
anything.
time.
Like fuck
Like
you,
the
dude.
Hemsworth, it's like you're beautiful and you're a good actor, you're jacked, and then you're also funny. Like, oh, fuck you, man. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
For the rest of us.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
be,
Yeah, like, how do you
seriously.
have all of this? That's not
like
fair.
be a dickhead or something. You know, stop being nice
Yeah.
to
And
everyone
you're
as well.
likable.
Like, fuck
Like, I
hell,
should
man.
hate you, but I don't.
It's kind of like Chris Pratt is similar as well, though.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Again,
Chris Evans, and I mean,
You're just
there's
like, can any of you guys
All the
just be like,
Chris's.
Gosling
yeah,
too. I mean,
yeah, too many Chris's. That's the big problem. Like,
Chris Pine as well.
yeah, if you want your kid to be successful, Chris is the name to go with at the moment.
Yeah, name him Chris.
Seriously.
Yeah, just put two
First
Chris's
and
in.
middle.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris. Don't even use your own last
Chris
name.
Christopherson.
Yeah, don't use your own last name. Just give him a last name with Christopherson or something like. Yeah, that'll do. He's gonna be super successful now. Okay, so that's yeah, that's the top.
All right.
That's the 6.
Here's